Hi, remember me? So what's up everybody? It's been like 2.5 months since my last upload. Well, obviously life has changed a lot recently since that last video. I'm obviously in a new location and there's been a bunch of crazy stuff going on, which is why it kept me from uploading. So I'm doing this as like a new room tour slash like channel life update, I guess. So since we have last spoken, I have moved locations of currently where I'm living, and also my work has moved, which if you don't know, I'm an instrument maker, and we actually going to be making the instruments on site, which I'll show you the view in a little bit. But yeah, mainly we had to leave for a few for a few reasons. One of them was like financial. It was becoming pretty bad, like how much the rent was, house plus the shop. And another reason I'm not really gonna get into, but let's just say we had some trouble with one of our neighbors and we had to get out of there. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. A couple of my friends know what's going on, but I'm not gonna say much more about that. So yeah, as far as regular uploads, I'm not sure. We're almost done moving the factory. The house has been pretty much done for a while, but moving the factory, I would say middle of the week, late this week, I think we'll be finally finished, which we were supposed to be out of the current building October 1st, but it got like slower and a lot more stuff than we anticipated. But the inside of the shop is basically done. We have to do a bunch of stuff that's out like the back of a bunch of wood in the back. So hopefully we'll be done soon. And if that wasn't crazy enough, my uncle died in early August, so we have to deal with his house too, which is going to be crazy because he has a bunch of books and paintings and stuff, but we'll deal with that once we're done moving the shop, obviously, and we can do that and start selling his house. So yeah, as far as regular uploads, I'm not sure when I'll get back into it. I want to, but like I said, sometimes life gets in the way, so this has to be put on hold for more important stuff. So yep. Alrighty, let's get into it. I know a lot of people, when they do a room tour, they try to make it spiff and spam and super clean. I did not, because I feel like that's not very genuine, so what you see is what you get. So let's transition to the other view and I'll show you around. Alright, time to show you the crib. So over this way is like going to be a new office, but it's not my spot, so I won't bother showing you that. I'll show you the CDs last. Is my favorite part, I think. So here's the record setup for now. Definitely, I need to get a TV because I have a bunch of movies in my closet still, but I need the TV. I'm thinking right here. So how I have my record set up is kind of wacky maybe, but I think it'll make sense. I'll show you that in a second. We're spinning a couple Blazer Perdition albums. Definitely one of my favorite Polish black metal bands who unfortunately broke up, but I'd rather have a band with the small catalog where they were all bangers than a band that did like 15 records and like half of them were bullshit. So here's the stack of 2025, which I am planning on doing a best of 2025 video, but I'm going to do it slightly differently than how I've been doing it in years past. I'll explain that when the time comes. So I'm going to spin this, the new Manogram record, which I'm sure you've seen a bajillion times, but oh well. Is it the best record? No, I still like the first 4 or 5 better, but this is definitely a solid one. But here's like a sample, so like And Oceans, Blackbird, Cenotaph, Peo Triumphant, On Scaft, awesome Finnish band from Eisenwald. I don't see people mention it often. The Stan Gilgo, Amorphous, Graceless, another band that I don't think gets enough love. If you want like a doomier version of Fourth Crusade era bolt thrower, these guys are awesome. And they're from the Netherlands, if I did not mention that. The new Hooded Menace, which I definitely love. Haggis, Lathandis, the new Rage record, Brainstorm, which is an awesome like speed, heavier power metal band that I don't see people mention very much. I know it's not for everybody, but I think these guys are awesome. I mean, especially the artwork, too. If you're not a fan of the band, you have to admit that artwork is sweet. Witch Hazel, and then the new one from the Goats. I'm not going to tell you which made the list and which didn't, but you shall see in December. And then here is a selection. So you got like Frenolith, Primal Fear, Paradise Lost, Halloween, Air Baltor, Morbific. Bunch of good stuff. And a couple on top, you got the Kriegsgraf, which should have kind of destroyed, so thanks eBay. But, oh well. And then the new Castrator. Alright, so let me explain how my stuff is set up, which I'm sure a couple of my friends will probably roll their eyes at this, but I want to do something a little bit different just for the hell of it. So, these two, that's Swedish death metal, but it's alphabetical and chronological, 'cause at least I want to be able to find it, so it kind of made sense to still have it in order at least. So, got like, it's mostly 90s stuff. There's one band that basically did stuff in the 2000s, but they were formed in the 90s, so by that I mean Entrails, because if you know your history, they were actually formed in like 1990, but I decided to put them with the OGs anyway, because they, like I said, formed in the 90s despite mostly being a 2000s band. So there's that. These two, that is 90s, mostly American stuff, so like Cannibal, Death, Deceased, Deicide. I guess I put Gorguth because I'm counting Canadian as America because it's close enough. Immolation, Macabre, and so on and so forth. Oof. Then these two is basically like European 90s, non-Swedish, basically European, non-Swedish, because I decided to do that because I had enough Swedish stuff to make its own stuff, its own section. So you got like Blood, Bolt Thrower, Pinballs, Decapitated Demos comp, that's from the late 90s, so I decided to include that. Demigod Demos, Pestilence, Necropsy, so it's like a mix of Finnish, UK, Polish, Netherlands, so another Finnish, Sinister, so you get the point. And then these two, it's 2000s death metal, so like Argumentum, some shit that I can't pronounce because it's in some weird language, but then Cattle D, another Cattle D, Cemetery Filth, Church of Disgust, Weapon, or not Weapon, Coffins, Cosmic Putrefaction, Disma. So basically, bands are basically only they did stuff in the 2000s, which I should have had intros there, but like I said, they were formed in the 90s, so I couldn't do that. And then we got some thrash. So this is all German and European thrash, I think. So yeah, basically non-American stuff. So Death Row, fuckers, come on. Destruction, Creator, the best thrash record of all time. If you disagree, sorry, but you're wrong. Protector, and some more European. So Legion of the Damned, Onslaught, so you get that. And then up here, let me grab my chair for a second. Hang on. Alrighty, so this is like the mostly wall of black metal. So This is all Swedish. So you got like Marduk, Unanimated, Bathory, Ancient Wisdom, Valkyria. So yep, that's pretty good section. And then this is all Finnish. So Agritas, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever. Another Ant Oceans. Archgoat signed by the two brothers. Cosmic Church. Impaled Nazarene. Sargeist. Seal of Violian, which I'm sure I'm butchering that wrong too. Satanic Warmaster. True Werewolf, so there's all the Finland. And then these two are both Norwegian. So we got Arcturus, everyone's favorite album to argue if it's death or black. I think it's black metal. If you disagree, that's fine, but I still think that's black metal as hell. So you got Ancient, when they were actually good. Bosom, or I should say Bosom. Dark Throne, I know, like, this is death metal, but whatever. Separating two bands just seemed dumb. Demiborgir, Emperor, Enslaved. Of course, it wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't mention them. Gorgoroth. Mayhem split with Morbid. Immortal. Satyricon. This is Armageddon. Uver. Tour&Life. Windir. So yep, there's the Norway. And then this is a little US one, which I'm not like super well versed in American black metal, but I did have to have some of those. So you got like Wolves in the Throne Room, Venom, Spectral Ruins. I know they're Canadian, but close enough. Sons of Chrome, Sinara, Panopticon, a bunch of Panopticons. So we got the Chachuan, Leviathan, Infera Brua, ICE, Goat Holder, kind of black thrash, but whatever. Funeral Presence, Anephrine, so you get the idea, that's all US. And then this is like, well, this to here is basically like European, non-Swedish, Finnish, or Norway. So you got like French, Polish, Greek, German, basically all the stuff that's not from Sweden, Norway, or Finland. So you got some Blue Das Nord, Isak Trillohim, Sofnifer, Dark Fortress. I'm trying to move so you can get the glare less bad. Davig in a Freiheit. Disaster. Human Serpent. Another Human Serpent. Rodney Christ, Passage to Arcturus EP. Thy Mighty Contract, and then my favorite, which is probably a hot take, but this record is awesome. I don't care what people say. And then you got, of course, this classic. I still need a copy of Valpurgis Not, but I'll do that eventually. And then this bottom is basically like, well, no, this is a continuation. Never mind, I was going to say something dumb, but forget it. So then like Behemoth, when they were good. Oof. Celtic Frost. Another Frost. Destroyer 666. Drowning the Light. Impurity. I forget how to put what his band name is. What's it called again? Oh, Kektorak. Most people can call him Kikorak. Maniac Butcher. Samael. Japanese Sabbath. So you get that. And then this is American Thrash. So you got like Blood Feast, EP, Dark Angel, Defiance, Havoc, some band I've never heard of, Metallica. I don't know, do you know these guys? I think they might be popular one day, but who knows. Morbid Saint, Overkill. Underrated record, I think people call it like Anthrax 2.0, but I think Anthrax are kind of boring, and this is, I think, way better than any Anthrax album. Razor, I know they're Canadian, but like I said, close enough. And I also have my Sacrifice here, so you could just say this is more like North American than proper US, but whatever. Sadist, Certain Death. Skeleton Witch, more like black and melodic death thrash, I guess. Slayer, Testament, Viking, Warbringer. Alrighty, so finishing this. So this is like all UK heavy metal, which is no surprise. It's basically like half Iron Maiden records. So we got Angel Witch. It's gonna be awkward, my closet's in the way, so hopefully I don't drop something. Maiden, bunch of Maiden, which I won't show you all of them because I've done an entire video just on my Maiden collection. But then we got Painkiller, so Priest, Motorhead, Orgasmatron, and then some Raven, and then you can see like Witchfinder General, Saxon, Tank, all that type of stuff. And then this is German heavy metal, so like Blind Guardian, Cruel Force, Halloween. Never seen anybody mention Halloween on YouTube before, eh? Some more Halloween. Rage. Their best record in my opinion, which I'm not talking about this right now, but definitely their pinnacle for me. I mean it has Invisible Horizons on it. Come on, you can't beat that. Running Wild. The birth of true Running Wild, I think. The first two are great, but this is, I think, where they found their sound. Storm Witch, Tyrant, and then Vulture, they're a newer band, but whatever. And then a very tiny, non-German European section, well, mostly European, because they got some Anthem in there, even though they're Japanese, but whatever. And then Grand Magus, I know they're more of a Doom band, but I don't have a Doom section, so whatever. This is where they belong for now. Hammerfall. The King. And then Merciful Fate. So there is that. Let me put this back real quick. And then this is basically just US heavy metal. So they can be a newer band, old band, doesn't matter. So we got Armored Saint, another Armored Saint, Baroness, Seereth Ungol, Crypt Sermon, some Dio, Exciter, I know they're Canadian, but we've established that's close enough for this. Fate's Warning. Haunt, who has way too many albums already. I will put that out there. They're way too prolific, but oh well. High on Fire. Manila Road, which... This is actually my favorite Manila Road record, which might be a hot take, but I love the thrashiness of the album, which I know some people is why they don't like it as much, is because it's thrashier. I actually like that about it, but then, like, Occult Burial, who were like a more like heavy metal version of Bathory or Sodom. Omen, Spirit Adrift, Trouble, Voivod, so whatever. And then a very small, just I guess Brazilian section, or South American rather. So Mystifier, Power from Hell, awesome black and thrash band. Sarcophago, of course. Expulsor, definitely one of the best South American death metal albums. Holocausto. Some Crisian, I'm not going to show all of them, but you get it. Mortem, definitely one of the better Peruvian death metal bands, and especially this. I think kind of underrated, but killer masterpiece. Definitely one of the better, like, mid-90s death metal albums, especially just South American death metal in general. Whip Striker, cool black and thrash, and then the rest is just Sepultura. No, Sepultura and then Volcano. So there is that. So let's go over to the non-metal era, because I feel like keeping that separate seems to make the most sense. So this is like rock and progressive rock. So you got like, let me show you. So King Dude, King Crimson, got like 5 or 6 of those records. Some Jethro Tull. Griffin, my last like big progressive rock kick I was on, they were definitely one of my favorite discoveries, and I have I think these are their first 2 albums, but either way, both are awesome, so good stuff. I think was it the debut? Yeah, this one I believe is basically all instrumental, which is awesome. I usually need vocals, but for some reason with them it actually works, so. Oh my god, he has a ghost record, what a loser. Gentle Giant. Got a few of theirs. Then some Genesis. This has probably become my favorite Genesis record. I think the opening track, Dancing on a Volcano, that's probably my favorite Genesis song. And then some ELP, which I'm it took me a while to get into them, but I really like them now. So yeah, there is that. And then you got like some Witch Hazel, Uriah Heep, Over. I kept the non-metal stuff away from the black metal era because that seemed to make the most sense. Thin Lizzy. I know the lighting kind of sucks, but deal with it. Scorpions. I think their best record, come on, it has Sales of Shuran in it. It's definitely their best song. Then we got some Rush. I got a few of those. The live record. So yep, there's the non-metal stuff. So I'll eventually do a video showing off some of that stuff. I don't know how many people would actually care to see that, but whatever, we'll see. So here is the, like, punk and hardcore stuff. So you got Gorilla Biscuits, GBH, Foreseen, some Exploited, Excel, English Dogs, definitely one of the best UK punk records for me. A couple Doom albums, DRI, Disrupt, Discharge, Dead Kennedys, The Damned. Probably my favorite punk record from the 70s. The Clash, who I basically think all of their hits are pretty horrible, but I like their first two albums, and then when they became super popular, that material I think is pretty atrocious. Cro-Mags, Circle Jerks, Blitz, Black Knife, Black Breath, Ass Rotten, Asocial, Anti-Climax, Amoebics, Agnostic Front, 7 Seconds, so you get that. Alright, before I show you the CDs, let me show you, I guess, my movies or whatever for now. So here's my shirt, so you got, how I have my shirt set up is kind of wacky too, so this is all like heavy metal ones. These are thrash, and then the small little punk ones, so there's some of my movies for now. Like I said, I need to get a place to store my movies, but I'll do that soon. Ignore this box of randomness, but oh well. Here's all of the black metal t-shirts, and then a lot of death metal ones. I didn't realize that death metal was my most like t-shirt collection, but I'm kind of not surprised, I guess. And then just some more random movies. You have to say, save the best for last, so I'll show you the CDs in a second, but here's my guitars. So I believe the first one I bought was this bad boy. So the Jackson, I want to say it's soloist, but doesn't seem right. I know it's kind of in that style, but I've had this one since like 10th, 11th grade, I believe is when I got that. And then BC Rich, Warlock, the Jackson V, this is definitely the one I play the most. It's the most comfortable to play. Recording King acoustic. Dean ML, which I switched and put in a different pickup. And the first person, when I bought this originally, they actually screwed up and the selector switch was backwards. So instead of, it was when you did it this way, it's supposed to be the neck pickup, but it was actually reversed. So that was the bridge and that was the neck for whatever reason, but oh well. And then my super heavy 7-string. So yep. Then my amp, it's the EVH 5150 combo. It looks small on camera, but this thing can blast if it needs to. It's 100 watts, so if I was ever in a band, I could definitely play a show with this. Alright, so here's what I finished a couple days ago. So, custom CD shelf made by yours truly. So our wood shop isn't set up yet, like I said, so this wood I bought at Home Depot, and they were pretty good price considering, so, and there's some left over too, so if I need to add more, I got 2 more pieces of wood to add shelves in the future. I can do either below or on top, but yep, so. You can see this one, if I had the wood shop set up, I would have taken the time to go to one of the sideways sanders and clean this up, but it's not, so I didn't bother, which I may in the future, but we'll see. So yep, this one there's no sections or anything like record, just straight A to Z, so you can get like a good view of everything, kind of. The count right now, I believe, is at 960, which considering my age is pretty good, though I've been buying CDs since I was like 15, 16, and I'm 27, so this obviously didn't happen overnight, but oh well, so. And if you're curious, if you want to do something like this yourself, just like for dimensions wise, the space between the top of this and the top of this is 7 inches, so if you just want to do that, make sure the top of each shelf at the top of the next is 7 inches in between, and you shall be good. Though if you want to make it bigger, because I have a weird CD, which I'll show you in a second, so like this one, it's a little bit bigger, so it doesn't quite fit, but oh well. So I just have it like this. So yeah, it goes like this, obviously. So A, B, C, D, da 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 da, whatever. So yeah, this definitely. Oops, this ain't going anywhere. So each piece of wood is an inch thick. So you would have to take like a sledgehammer, but I don't even think that would do anything because of how thick the pieces of wood are. So there was absolutely no chance this is going to break. So you can see there's 3 brackets, which you could have done more, but I don't think I needed it. Plus, some of the studs on the wall were kind of inconsistent because they're usually supposed to be 16 inches apart, but for some of them, they weren't. Like some, it would line up, but then you would do the same spot down, and you would miss somehow. So I don't know what that was, because I think because of the bigger wall, maybe they had to like stagger them weirdly, but oh well. That's another reason why I did this side thing, because you can see this is actually screwed onto this, and I did that mainly so I can not have CDs fall over. So yep, there's no way that's gonna fall. And this is also, like I said, super sturdy. So if you have a Home Depot near you, I think each piece of wood was $8 each. So, which it may sound like a lot, but it is super good quality. So if you want to, you could paint it too, which I might paint them in the future. But I just want to get these actually out again, because for a while they were just in giant tubs, and trying to find something was a pain in the ass. So I just wanted to get them out. So yep. Hey, I'll show you something. So like I said, the wood shop is going to be on site, which you can see the view from my room. That door is literally the wood shop. So my commute to work when the wood shop is done is literally out this door and down the road, and I walk in that building. So yeah. I mean, the old place, the drive was only like 25-30 minutes, but this will definitely save a lot of time and gas money in the meantime. So yep. Thanks for watching. Welcome to my new room, I guess. So this is a closet with nothing in it right now, but yep. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I can come back to making more consistent videos in the future, but we shall see. So take care. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.